Yo, guys, so welcome back to this week's episode of the JBK podcast. There is four of us today, as you can clearly see, and the guy at the end is probably the best looking out of all of us. I've got to be honest and say. So, Josh, would you like to introduce our guest? Who is it? Who is he? Do we know him?
Well, I've known him most of my life, yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Peter Grisdale, my stepdad. And what you can't see in the corner is my mother. So,
So, no swearing.
The boss.
The Queen,
Very
Queen
correct.
Bee, Queen Bee. But yeah, want to give a massive shout out to all you guys for coming back to this week's episode. Just want to give a massive shout out to the sponsors. We've got Lakeside Fire and Security, TNT Records, Northwest Plumbing and Heating, and Transform Physique Gym. Massive shout out to you guys for sponsoring every single episode that we do, and we will be doing a collab at some point soon with all of you. And massive shout out to you, Kia, for letting us have the 1950 flat again. It's just great.
It's just going back to a time when I wasn't even a twinkle in my dad's eye. Well, before he was even born, to be fair.
I've got to say, was he even a twinkle?
No, 16 years after.
So, we'll start off every week as we do. Kia, how's your week been, mate?
Quiet.
Sweet, move on.
Right.
Work.
That was more effort than last week, that.
I know. So actually, I think we should start with a guest first.
I was going to say best of last.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll start with a guest first. So because the best would be your mum in the corner, and she's not got a microphone.
Less of it.
He wants an invite for roast dinner, doesn't he?
Oh, I don't skip many, mate. Look at me. I don't skip many meals. You should know that by now. But yeah, Grizzy, how has your week been?
Yeah, it's been all right. I had a bit of a nightmare last week, but I think it was because I run up to a week's holiday, which is this week. So, yeah, I'm quite happy now, chilling out a bit. So, yeah, it's been all right. Just keep plodding on, don't we?
Where you going all day to?
I'll go Egypt in May, Josh, you know that.
That was the best kept secret for the last 9 months. That was blown.
I was going to say I'm sure that we weren't supposed to say anything about that. Even I think we knew about it.
Who opened
Everyone
the
knew
mouth?
about it, but
There's always one.
no, there was Mam. I almost blew it at some spots.
Yes, you did, Josh.
Shane came in drunk and just full out told him.
Connor and Kirsten ain't go to Spain next year.
Yeah, I said, oh, they're going to pay their holiday off soon. What holiday? And as I said, oh, they go to Spain. Mum went, they go to Centre Parks.
Oh wow, wow.
But yeah, it didn't work out too
Right.
well.
So we've got our first question from a viewer on Facebook, Mr. Goodins. He has said, "How bad are Chelsea, Grizzy?"
Yeah, they're not good at the minute, like. Enough said. Next question.
There you go, Connor, mate. Can't get much more
Quick
blunt than
answer.
that. He's not asking how United are after yesterday. Come with us. First time in 6 years of grasping on. No, yeah. Chelsea haven't been exactly. I'd say they've been smart, but they've also not been smart, have they, with all the signings and the way they've structured it.
Me, I think you just got to give time, personally, because we're all young kids. But yeah, obviously it's Conor Goodins in here who's asked that question.
Yeah.
I ask him how many times they've lifted European Cup. There you go, Connor.
There you go, mate. I mean, I don't think there's much more to be said, is there?
He'll probably go hiding again now, back in the crack where he comes from.
Well, not still top of the league at the moment, aren't they?
I hope they win it.
Really?
Yeah, I hope they win it. It's a change in it.
I mean, I'm a fan of it, even if it's obviously being unbiased. I'm not the typical United fan. Like, I'm not biased towards it or anything. I'm just, a part of me just thinks they've not got the squad for it. They're just
Well,
not, the depth is not there.
We're just about halfway through, and City are catching them now.
Not everyone's catching them now.
I said City by 12 at the start of the season. I'm probably like, but
You never know. All it takes is for 2 or 3 games or even a game to slip up, and then next thing you know, the team underneath have got a sniff, and then they start pushing on, don't they? I think it'll. I think this weekend could be a big one for it. Like I say, United against Liverpool, and then they've got the bottom of the league as well. I can't remember who the is it. Oh God, I literally read it as I went out. But anyway, the yeah, it's just a bit. It's a bit shit, in it. I'm not really a fan of this year's league. I just don't think. I'd sooner everybody be doing great, like, and they're just not. Like, the standards massively dropped now, so you'll see. I know Arsenal have been great, but let's be honest, if they'd have done this,
it's City's depth for me.
yeah, I agree, 100%.
It's massive. It's ridiculous, I think.
Well, it's the best in the world, isn't it? The squad depth they've got.
To be, aren't it? You don't need a manager. Whose turn is it to play this week? I'll have a game.
I'm just sat here like, what's going on?
Yeah, same, mate.
Right.
It's
Was
weird.
it?
It's weird how you don't follow football. I don't. But like,
It's never been a staple in my life, to be fair.
it's not a staple in my life. It's
No,
just
but
I feel
like,
it.
well, like, even like, my parents didn't. We never watched it when I was a kid. The only ones that did was my cousin and my uncle, and obviously they live in Wigan. So
Yeah, you never really followed football either, did you? Obviously, it's rugby.
Not
That
really,
sort of runs
but
through the veins, doesn't it?
I
But
used to have a Chelsea top on that when I was a kid.
I think I might have been a bit too busy
No,
playing.
no, I didn't force him to wear his Chelsea top. All right.
Bit too busy playing.
The biggest shock in the olden days was when Shane got a United top.
good man. He knows his teams.
He
But-
doesn't.
So what? Actually, that's a good question. What made you support Chelsea,
Don't know. I just think
being so far away?
I'm not being funny when I say this, but I'm sort of like I'm a massive rugby fan.
Yeah, you're a rugby guy, aren't you?
So I'm not. I just chose it. If truth be known, I should be a Tottenham fan because my dad and my gran were Tottenham fans.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. I just chose Chelsea, and I've been slated ever since.
No, but I think it's any sort of person in the north that supports a southern team gets slated regardless, don't they? Because it's so far away. They're like they're not even close. How do you support me? It'd be the same with Connor and Arsenal, and I know he goes there quite regular.
Yeah, it goes. Yeah, yeah.
That's now for me. That's mad to go because it's so far away. Like, don't get me
Based
wrong,
in London, Arsenal.
Arsenal, yeah, you'll travel the world if you support your team. It's same as with using rugby. If your team's going away and you can go, you'll go, won't you? And you can afford it, and it's
I've
not.
done the two.
100%.
I've done the two at Chelsea. That was quality. That was really good.
Yeah, I need to do that at United.
Yeah, United will be better, I reckon.
I just think, well, we've had no trophies in there 6 years. It'll be quite dusty, I think. So I'll just.
Game in it.
Oh yeah, you got it. But no, it's what sort of stemmed you into rugby? Do you think was it
Tell you
like
what it was? I think it was. I remember it. I was watching Great Britain, Australia, and we beat them 33-10, I think. I mean, you're going back early 90s. And I gave it a go when I was a kid, under 8, after I started at Ruse. Then I stopped and tried my hand at football. I wasn't very good at that either. So then I just went back after watching that. That sort of like, if you like, inspired me to go
Yeah.
do it again. And I've done it tried to do it ever since. Started at Ruse, then obviously Heimpool.
so? How long have you been associated with Heimpool? Too long.
A long time, yeah, a long time. I can't remember what year I went in there.
But you've done more than just played, haven't you? You took coaching on, didn't you?
I done coaching for a bit. I coached the kids. I helped Daz Clark when he was the open age coach. I helped him out when he was doing that. So
I think that makes sense. I think it makes sense if you were to be there as well, because obviously everybody knows you, and you've always been well respected as well. So it sort of goes hand in hand, really, doesn't it? Because like I say, you don't need to then sort of. It's not as if the lads don't know you, and it's not as if they don't respect you anyway. So when you're then going in there telling them, or trying to help them do certain things, or
you see, me and Daz, I love him a bit. Right, he's one of the good mates.
Yeah.
Daz. But we were like chalk and cheese. I try and I think my coaching method is sort of like, I'll sit you down and talk to you.
Yeah.
Whereas if you do something wrong, say someone's had a. I remember we had a rubbish first half, and I went, right, boys, and he comes in and we've got a whiteboard in the changing room, smacking it. I told you, why are we doing this? Like going off his bonds, and so that's just not my way of doing things. Like,
No.
you know, at the end of the day, there's only the players that can change that around, and
Yeah. And also, you're not professionals, like maybe
Yeah.
rein it in a bit.
yeah, definitely, yeah.
Like, I'd understand if
He
you're in.
understood why he done it.
Yeah.
If that's how he did, it's just not. That's
No,
just my-
especially that group of lads. Obviously, I know we all sort of know around the club anyway. Like we know the lads there at that time anyway. I knew obviously you know them just off being there, but it doesn't strike me as something that's how they'd respond. That they sort of want that mate as well though, but not to take the piss. Like, and obviously they wouldn't with you. They might have a little laugh and a joke, but if you were like, right lads, come on, we need to
I
do.
think some when me and Daz did it, I don't want to get in trouble here, but some were like they think they know it all and they don't need they don't need the coaching.
Yeah. I think you should always have a student mindset. You never know enough. There's always something that you can
Yeah,
learn.
but,
You have that
know,
respect, like
Yeah.
you know him, obviously, stepdad. I've had mates that have been coaching us and that. Like Rickle at the moment, he helps coach us.
Yeah, yeah.
When they're coaching you, they're still your mate, but you have them at they're your coach.
It'd be the same as if they were your boss, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's the
I
exact
was just
same.
about to say that it's the same if you work with them, but like they're like higher up than you.
Well, like me and Kieran.
Yeah.
Kieran was my high. He owned the company I worked for. You have that during 9 to 5. He has my respect as a boss.
Yeah.
After 5, fuck him.
Wow.
He's my mate again. You know what I mean? It's not.
I
He's not a
hope-
boss anymore.
I hope your higher up manager isn't watching now who you're working for, because he'll be out there quick.
But it's not like
And then
he
come
was
back
the
to Kieran
same.
with his tail between his legs.
But he was the
Yes.
same. 9 to 5. His mentality was he was my boss. As soon as 5 o'clock came, we were mates. It wasn't that you can tell the difference.
See, we were at Wigan St Pat's, and I think Clarkey put a person on in a certain position, say like go loose forward, right?
Yeah.
So then this player went, no, you go second row, I'll go loose forward, right? Well, who's got the right to say that? That's not the coach, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it
The
is.
coach
Right,
makes
so
decisions.
So I
to
tell
me,
you to jump.
that should never happen. If
No.
I'm telling you to go loose forward,
I'm going loose forward.
right, and Kia's not going to tell you to go change it.
No.
Do you know what I'm saying?
If you say jump, I go how high.
That's what I'm getting at. Yeah.
But it's also out of the respect that you wouldn't even question that, which to me, I had the benefit of knowing the majority of lads there, never like not playing with them, never played with them, but seeing it from the outside at that time. 'Cause that was when I was like I loved going. I was going to the majority of the home games and I was
Yeah.
watching, and I was like, from the outside, for me, I was just like, it just seems to be that no one really give a shit.
No.
And once again, for me, from the outside, I can, my opinion may not be taken well, but for me, looking at it, I'm like, they were all for, being mates and everything, but they didn't want to win rugby games. Otherwise, they'd have been more together. They'd have listened to the coaches. Even if you think you know better than the coach, you humble yourself and just listen to what you're being told. You don't even necessarily have to do it to the best. You just do it because you've been told, and that's the sort of
So you said one word there, together.
yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And you look at us. To me, you look at a team, and they've got little pockets of mates.
Little groups, yeah.
That's no good. It's not going to work.
No. Well, they said the same with the England squad, didn't they? Like the United players would sit together, the Chelsea players years and years ago. The Chelsea players would sit together, Liverpool would, and they'd all have their little groups. And then they wondered why, when they got to games where they're in playing against Germany and Holland, where these guys don't, most of them all play for the same team anyway.
Yeah.
But then they love going to international football, whereas the English didn't, because they had such an intense rivalry domestic. And it's the same as there.
It's chemistry of being enemies as well as you're meant to be friends.
But that chemistry wasn't even
Yeah.
as this level in
Yeah.
rugby. Say the chemistry was there as in everyone's mates, but when it comes to the sport, people have egos, and it's sometimes like, well,
These
if it-
days they do.
if it weren't for me, they wouldn't be there. If it was for me, they'd maybe have done this, or I could have done better, or nah, he's shit, let's not do it. And then it becomes a whole sort of thing where you create an atmosphere where eventually it'll backfire, which for me now it looks like it has. Most of the players have left that used to play. I know that they've grown up. Some of them are having kids, some of them doing whatever, and injuries and all that stuff. But then, because of that initial thing, some of the better players left. Some of the players that were regular there now don't play anymore, or whatever. That's just me from the outside. I don't know the definite.
We did
details,
take
but
a bit of a plummet over the last couple of seasons, but like this season, I think it's going to be totally different. Tomo's obviously full on took the reins now, and he's made it abundant. No more laziness.
I hope so.
No
'cause
more just there to take the numbers up.
I looked at the team on Saturday, and it's a decent squad that they've got.
Oh, it is 100%.
on paper, well, obviously I don't watch them, but looking at it, it looks like
It's
they're
a
bringing young.
decent, but it's the togetherness. That's what it is.
That was just a backwards hiccup. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. No, but, yeah, no, but
What a grab.
I know on paper it looks like
Obviously, we suffered a defeat to Walney in the Barton Townley on Saturday, 30 points to 10.
First game.
But it's if we had no friendlies. This was one we did organise a few players, and it's like at the start of pre-season we had like mid-30s, upwards of 40 people training. Obviously, everyone's gone back to work. They've got kids and things like that. So it's whittled down a bit, but training has still been quite good numbers, if you would, full squad turn-ups and that. But then it's like shifts. So the lucky part is now everyone on shift in the yard. No one works a Saturday. So we've got a lot of availability on the Saturdays. We brought a lot of the young players up, Quite a few of them have signed up for the 18s team, where Roos and Heimpool have merged to make an 18s team, which I think's brilliant.
which I think was actually necessary. Not just that it's brilliant because it would have killed off the team. Because if you've got no upcoming youth, there's only so long those guys can play, and then what's the incentive for the younger lads if there's no? You usually start something with your mates, don't you?
Yeah.
And if none of their mates are wanting to play, but then the next age gap is like 10-year difference, it's not really like the balance you'd find is completely different because there's no sort of genuine path to prove that.
See, the 16s go from 16s to open age.
That was the path I chose. And the first game I played
Because
for
we've got
open
no
age,
18s.
I was 16 and I played against Hisham Adams.
Do you not just think that's a part of that is a bit? I always think if you're good enough, you'll play. Age is but a number. It's
Yeah.
the same as in football, but
Yeah.
with rugby, it's a bit different. Because
More physical when you're 16,
Well-
not built into your full body yet, and you're playing against a 26-year-old who's an absolute beast.
well, for me, the best player I've seen for Highpool play was Matty. For me, I never watched Chris play. I've seen actually, it's between him and Rimmer for me. There's something about them that I just think they're absolute machines. And
Tackle anything, Matty.
I've lost. I went away. Where was that game where they played on that AstroTurf, where we went away?
Is that Pilkins?
Was that when we went to Burnley?
Yeah, it was when we were on the way to Burnley and we
St
stopped
Helens,
off
they
and
play on the
watched.
Academy 4G pitch,
That-
speed club.
I, I've never seen. Every time I watch Matty, I just think you're just better than everybody by an absolute country mile. It's not even close.
Yeah, but there was some grim scenes that game though.
No, I know he's throwing up on the sideline after making 6 tackles in a row. Do you know what I mean? But he's the first person there. But I just look and I'm just like, for me that doesn't play, I watch it, but for doesn't play, and I look and I just think, for me, I'd be looking at him going, why is he first every time? Get me like, do you know what I mean? And I just think that was lost for a period with the club. It's like, oh well, Matty's there, so he can do it. So yeah, you go on. And it just sort of, do you know what I mean? Like,
Same with like Matty and Chris are just gifted.
The same. They're the
They're
same.
the same person. I mean, if you ask them two, it'd be a totally different.
so I never seen Chris play, but going off
Chris
what
is
you said,
unbelievable, mate, as well.
I've never seen him play. I've seen Matty play, and for me, when Rimmer was, I don't know if he's still playing now, but when he was playing for Highpool, he was one of the best players I watched as well.
Rimmer got married last week.
Yeah, I know, I've seen.
Good.
Congratulations, mate, if you're watching. I don't think you will be, but
Well, Chris went pro. Chris spent many years at Barra. He played for multiple Super League teams for Barra. Barrow.
We're not going back to that. Man. We're not going back to that.
At Barra. He played for London Broncos. Like, he went over to Australia for the pre-seasons. And he lived a life while he was pro. And I was talking about him once, and he loved it. But obviously, the smallest ever injury stopped his career dead, and he tipped a bit of bone in his toe, and that's what stopped his career.
Well, talking about injuries, Cam's recovering now after having his
Cam Ayton.
after having his operation on his knee.
Reckon he'll get back into it?
I've told him that he shouldn't.
He will.
No, I know he will. You can never stop. And the only reason I've told him he shouldn't is because I know what follows when he can't work. Your skin. And that's the problem. Even if you do have insurance, you're still waiting to get paid out. If you're off work and you're working for a company where you only get statutory, you then need to start weighing up and going, well, what happens if I go and break my leg and I'm off work for 7 months?
Your insurance pays your monthly wages.
I thought they give you it in a sum.
No, you get right. So my insurance, I've got. They do it on a scale of 1 to 5, so I've got 2. It's £9 a point, so I pay 18, but I pay an extra £2 a month, and that's my wage, basically docs. So I'd get, if say I snap my leg, and it's a £1,500 for a snap leg. So for a snap leg, I've got 2 points, so I get £3,000. For the first 4 weeks, they don't pay you wages. You've got you can pay more, and they'll pay you from the first day. So I've got a 4-week gap. But after 4 weeks, if I'm off work with, say, a broke leg or something, they will then pay my monthly income, but it's not my monthly income. They'll pay me so we worked out how much I need, so they pay me £1,600 every 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if it's just maybe me the way I've been built, but I look at that and I just think, is it even worth it? You might never walk properly again just for playing something that you might. Don't get me wrong, I know it's some sport, you enjoy it and so on. But at what point do you sit there and think, well, I'm caught? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I've never understood that, and I don't. Maybe
I didn't when I played. I didn't care. I just wanted to play. You're wrong. I look back now and I think, oh my god.
To be honest, I used to be like that, but with the job I'm in now, no.
Yeah, it's stupid. You definitely need some sort.
Well,
of
that's what scared
achievements.
me from playing. There was a
Yeah.
multiple reasons why I was petrified.
Well,
Absolutely shit feed. It took me a long time to admit it to myself because I was always saying, and I was a worse person for it, I want to play. That's why I stopped watching
You
because
bought
when I
the whole kit, didn't you? Ready to come play, but you
and
bought
then I
everything.
fucking
was the
petrified
same.
myself out of it. And I'm not ashamed to admit, I was absolutely shitting myself, and it wasn't shitting myself for getting
Did
hurt.
you pick that up?
What?
Your kit. You bought a hoodie and everything.
Yeah, I did have it. Yeah,
Did you pick it up?
yeah. I didn't. I weren't even scared about getting hurt. I was scared that I wouldn't. I know I wouldn't stop
Do you know
because
when
I
I
loved
wasn't
watching.
bothered? When I was coring BE because I knew I got sick pay, so I wasn't asked.
See, now I look. That's why I stopped watching.
Obviously, back in the, now it's all different, but I didn't care, and I used to always say I'd happily die on a rugby pitch.
See, now obviously dying's a bit of a different. You've got.
No,
I
but
think you've got to be prepared for anything when you go there because you will get hurt if you're not.
oh, 100%.
Like if you go in nervous,
You're gonna get hurt.
You'll get hurt. That was why I was scared.
Don't want to bring it up, Kia, but
Hey,
it happened to you, didn't
hey,
it? Warnley.
yeah.
Kia came and played a game. He went on as centre.
It was like my fourth game though as
Was
well.
it centre?
Yeah.
You went on, and he said to me, he said, I can't be arsed. And I said to him, don't run the ball in. Because I said, if you can't be arsed, I said, sub yourself off. But no, I'll just do one. First run in, fucked his arm.
I got absolutely smashed.
Because he was running half-arsed. He ran straight, and he got picked up. He got dumped straight on his arm, and he went off.
Chicken.
Now, to us, it's like, I looked at him and went, you're a dick. Because now we're a player down. We've lost one at the bench. But that was just because he couldn't be arsed being there.
That one night I was fucking knackered. So I decided to go out the night before.
Never been out, never been back since.
See, now
You're not allowed to do that anymore. We've got rules down the club.
Oh yeah, you can't.
If you're out the night before,
you won't
you're not playing. If you're not training, you're not playing.
Fair enough, really.
And people have said, "Oh, that's not work commitments. Not a problem.
That's
It's fair enough. If if you're on shift and you can't make training or whatever, that's fair enough. But we need it because there's too many of the young lads. I know they can do it, but they're going out on a Friday night, then coming and playing on Saturday. But then they're puking up 10 minutes into the game, and you're thinking, we could have played him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a big. The club's going in a good direction.
I remember that game. Like the last game I watched you play, you got bent into a pretzel.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
you just had to throw that in there.
I
didn't he,
don't.
then?
Yeah, but I don't give a shit. I love it.
Which game was that then?
I can't.
All of them.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It was a couple of years ago. It's just the fact that you stood up afterwards, like looking around, like where wondering where you were.
Better played the ball though.
Just
No. When he'd smashed you on the floor, the ball just rolled behind you, just perfect.
Even in senior.
Tony.
All right, McKinley lad. But yeah, that was for me though, mate. As you were saying before, like you didn't care. I wish I had that, but mine was the opposite.
Stupid.
Mine was the opposite way. I cared, but I was scared of myself because I knew as soon as I started, I'd never stop until something did happen.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
I'm wrong. I was just. It's
I was, yeah,
at the time, because I was younger and I was keen, I didn't care. I just wanted to.
and mine stemmed, and it actually was quite bad. It stemmed from money. My motivation to not do it was money.
Which is
because-
right.
And it is, but it also isn't because it stopped me doing a lot of stuff because it was to the point where, well, at that point, I was a main provider for the family, for my missus and the house. Like if I weren't working, and there was times when I've lost my job and that, and then the stress that comes with it, and then my missus' wage at that time didn't cover all the bills, and just the general life worries that mostly everybody has. And I was like, and then if I go and add something where I know that if I go, I'm not going to stop.
Jordan.
Mr. Molyneux.
I'm like, no, mate.
I'm just waiting for Tony to put that old comment in.
Oh, here
Yes,
we go.
what, lesbians?
Justice
Just
for Mol.
Your dad's already commented.
Oh, yeah, I know he said ladies. So my dad was a real player.
Yeah, your dad was.
I'd love to get back into it, but obviously with the way I am at the moment with work, and then obviously the days I have Harrison, I don't know. Like,
See, so you're doing the same thing I was doing,
I don't know when training is anymore.
but you're not.
Tuesdays.
But you're not even. So I can tell.
Son, you don't know when training is. If you were that bothered and wanted to score, you could just ask me. I went training not last week before.
Yeah, but I've not even thought about
And
it.
honestly, mate, obviously I'm near on 17 stone now. Last time I played, I was 13.
Yeah,
And I thought, this is going to go really badly.
I'm 13-6.
So that tells you though that you're not fully interested in it. So don't even try and entertain it because you'd just be doing it. For
But
the
it
sake
might
of
be
doing
one
it.
of them. If he started training, he might then actually get the
Maybe.
drive to go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you enjoy training, I think that's half the battle, isn't it?
If you enjoy training, you're winning. That's the hardest bit of rugby is the training part.
Well, the game's a fun part. That's why everyone
Yeah,
used to
that
put the
is.
name down for the games and not show up
Yeah.
to training.
And I'll be honest with you, our Matty was the worst for it, wasn't he? He wouldn't train, but he could guarantee he'd get a spot on a Saturday.
Well, the thing is, though, but at what point would you then start saying to some of your best players, right, well, you're not playing?
It's no now, that's happened
No,
now.
I know now, but like back then, you didn't have
Yeah.
a choice because you'd be short of players.
Yeah, we didn't have the numbers.
But then you also didn't have the quality then of dedicated people. So Matt's one of the lucky ones because of his skill anyway. He could go on and not train. He could not have played for 6 months and go on and
Still been good, yeah.
still be better than everybody else on the pitch.
And then people were training.
Exactly, and it's shit. But then you just look at, say, the people that do turn up every week that just get ripped for being who they are or whatever.
Me.
They might not be the best, but they're turning up, and then it's same as with
Exactly.
darts for a period of time. You were turning up
Yeah,
every week.
That's,
and
that's what
on game.
happened. That's what happened to me at Ruse. That's why I
Yeah.
left. Because the coach at Ruse, no, I don't say no names. He just basically said to me, "You shit. You're not playing." So that's when I left.
Thing is, though, it's shit when things like that happen. Like, I don't like people who single people out and things like that. You're shit. Well, it doesn't fucking matter. He's turning up. He's trying.
You've done that to me.
You are shit, though.
Well, I know that, but you still done it to me.
The thing is, though, but he might be saying that. So the way you respond to stuff is almost need to be told.
You take it to heart.
You need to be like really, really told. Like same as I told you.
You're one of them, Kier. I could say if you came training now, like say you came training tomorrow, and I went and I looked at you and went, "You're shit. You'll never fucking run over me." You then purposely make sure that you tried to run
At the end
over
of the
me.
day, no decent coach tells us a person who's training and trying that they're rubbish and that they're not playing. That's just
No.
knocking them.
Not when you're
Do you know what I mean? That's wrong.
Yeah,
it's
but-
wrong on so many levels.
You were my coach once, weren't you?
And Connors.
Yeah.
The only thing that I would say in defence of that is you see some people who respond really well to that. He's one of them. So I know him.
Yeah.
If you not to single him out in front of everybody, if you were to pull him to one side and go,
You're doing shit, pick it
you
up.
literally you pull your finger out or whatever. He's the type of person that responds to that rather than the arm round. Do you know what I mean?
See, I get it now at pool because I'm like, I see all these people play pool. The likes of like Kyle Brown and Pitsy, Jacko. They've been playing pool
Yeah.
for a long, long, long time, even before I started.
Yeah.
I started playing pool when I finished playing rugby, and they see me what I'm doing, and they come over and give me some pointers. So
Yeah.
they're sort of like coaching me in a
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, it's
you
a
know
good
what I
way.
mean? Yeah, it's good. Yeah, quality. Good.
But it's we're all here to try and help people.
I'm one of them. I'd rather you tell me straight to my face and be blunt about it than pussyfoot around.
Yeah. See now, mine depends on what it is. There's
I
certain
don't,
things
I
that
don't, I don't care what it is. That's the way I am. That's my mindset. I don't care what it is. Just tell me.
so I'm like that myself. If I can be critical of myself, I'm like that to a point. But it depends on what it is. If it's something that you don't know more than me at, then I won't accept it because it's like, well,
The only issue with you there is if you know you're right, even if you are wrong, you don't accept it.
no, because
Because you don't listen to other people.
no.
'cause
So
you're already in that mindset of I'm right.
no. So what I probably should have explained with that is no, it's not that. Say for instance, if it's about, for argument's sake, setting up the podcast stuff. If one of you was to go, well, no, you don't do that. You do this when I've done it 50 times and you have done it twice. That's different. But if it is something, I'm like, you know what? Fair enough. I hold my hands up.
Why is
that's-
it flickering?
Exactly. But just little things like that. It's like it'd be almost like me driving a bus twice and then telling you how to drive a bus. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's certain things that you just do and don't do, isn't there? And for me, that's one of my things that I had to learn. And then Mole said, "What do you think of the fight?"
Wasn't really much of a fight, mate.
I watched it and it was
Didn't watch
They
it.
cuddled a lot. They had a few good shots in. I've got to admit, there was a few good knocks. Tommy didn't get knocked down. That wasn't a knockdown.
it was a slip,
It was
but
a split. But
because it was a punch that hit him.
I think the winner was right.
Yeah, the
Tommy
winner was
definitely
right.
won the fight, 100%.
Put it this way: there was no way on earth that.
That first
Tommy-
scorecard
Tommy-
was shit. That was bullshit.
So why have they got an American scoring an American?
They shouldn't.
This is where the politics in it comes.
Yeah.
isn't it?
Seen all the memes first thing this morning when I was on the way to work though.
Yeah, but that's just people being on the internet. At the end of the
Yeah.
day, he stepped into the ring and done something that he's been doing for 3 years, and the guy's been training since he was 6 years old. And
It's-
realistically,
Hats off to them both, though. They've just both made millions. You know what I mean?
But I look at it and I'm thinking, why are they only fighting 8 rounds?
Just exhibition fights, innit?
It
Well,
was
it's
never a
because they
split
can't.
decision. It wasn't a split decision.
Yeah, but they got WBC rankings off that fight last night.
What? Was a split decision. Split decision.
In my head,
Tommy, wasn't it?
I thought it was about a draw then.
Yeah, no, they got a WBC ranking, and I think because Jake Paul has signed on as a professional fighter, even though he's not fought any professional boxers. But the W, but
I can sign on as a professional fighter now. You just pay a fee, and I'm now legally a professional fighter.
Yeah, well, you know what happened last time you got in there?
Yeah, I got
Josh?
knocked the fuck out, me. God, I
Wow.
two of him, and all they talk about is the one I lost.
Let's all fight a Royal Marine, dead clever.
the Royal Marine has been boxing for years. Yeah,
Champion in the Marines.
I know. I watched you get knocked out.
A Royal Marine.
He was hanging on them ropes. What
I know.
he's been through here, like.
I know you're dying to say it. How long was it?
7
I
seconds.
couldn't watch me. I just seen you get knocked out, and your arm sort of like stiffened, and you fell through the ropes, and I was like, I've seen enough. Like, see you, Bommy night.
What, you were all at a party, weren't you? At Kill One. What was it?
How's it go, Ben? See you
Where,
morning.
what party was that? In the Kill One.
Yeah, we were at a party. I think it was P.O.'s
Yours.
Boyd's joint one, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were all sat around a table, and for the whole of 22
I
seconds,
couldn't
being
watch
knocked
it.
out.
I couldn't watch it because Josh trains for a week and he
was-
thinks he's
I
Mike,
know,
Mike
I
Tyson,
took
doesn't he?
the
You know what I
month
mean?
for that.
I've got to mention Molly here. I remember when Moll offered you a charity boxing fight.
Oh, don't.
No, Mol offered me
He
one.
offered Bennett.
Really,
You'll die, Mol. I'm not even being funny.
really. He'd be fitter than me just because he's smaller. But how is he going to hit me? He's 5'1", and his arm is literally about that big.
What you mean? You mean we found someone smaller than the boss over there?
Yeah, I'm not joking.
That's you sleeping on the couch.
Hallelujah.
USA
Only
gave
joking.
Paul a fight. Yeah, they did. But this is what I'm saying. It's corrupt, mate. But how did that even become a thing? How was that even allowed?
It'll have been in the contract somewhere that they've got to have at least one American judge.
No, how was it allowed with your fight? Sorry, how did you know he was?
It was a white collar.
Yeah, because it's all about levels, isn't it?
It was
And
charity.
he was like levels above Josh.
Yeah. Well, basically, it wasn't. Who did I represent? I was representing Nath Sneesby.
Height doesn't always guarantee you a win.
Representing idiots.com.
Basically, Tony Rickleton was said he'd do it, and he pulled out 3 weeks before. So
Paul had a fight after you, didn't he?
yeah, he broke
Right.
those ribs and
Yeah,
knocked
and
him out.
Paul said he should have fought the lad who you had, and you should have fought the
Yeah.
lad that he had.
Didn't Scouse do one as well?
Yeah, Brad Rightweb.
So Brad, who boxed as a kid, stepped up off the couch and didn't train at all. He had a bad ankle. His ankle was fucked. He couldn't train. He couldn't even run. Right. He stepped up off the couch. Scott had been free. Scott said, "Oh, I'm going to start training."
Scott's came and sparred against me
For
a couple
10
times.
weeks, he said, "I'm going to start training." The week before the fight, he did 3 sessions in the week and then fought on the Saturday and then watched it. And I'm like, Brad's numb anyway. He's just a numb bastard. Like, Andy boxed previous, like when he was a kid.
Did he really?
Brad did, yeah.
Brad used to box. Yeah, he used to box a bit when he was a kid. Yeah.
So did I, but I wouldn't step in the ring now. I wouldn't have a fucking clue what I'm doing.
So Mollers said, height doesn't always
Fucking Scouse felt.
height doesn't always guarantee a win. Same goes for reach or weight. All depends on who wants it more, who had the better camp, who was prepared more. But those factors.
Yeah, but the right, Jordan, let me just say
Desire.
one thing straight, right? You're small, you're a bit chubby, you've got little arms. Ben's a giant with a massive reach and more weight behind
He
him.
just put his hand on your head.
But it's like that. Ben's got longer legs. He's got the movement.
You're not
he's got
being
the
very
reach,
nice to Jordan,
he's
he
got
is.
the power. No, but like, in comparison, legally, you wouldn't even be allowed to fight.
No. The thing is though, as well, to give Molly's credit, he would probably give it a good go.
Oh,
But I'm
100%.
just calling a spade a spade. I for my height, I can still move quite well. Anyway. And for his height, he can't
Yeah,
move
but
that well.
You move that well when you go into the kitchen
Correct.
or go
Still
to
mo-
the toilet.
Correct. Still moving well though, isn't it? Oh well, it moves well enough to stop you getting your head caved in by 6 lads, though, doesn't it? Oh yeah. Oh, you weren't mourning how well I could move then, were you?
I don't remember.
No,
that.
you weren't. Oh right, yeah.
You want to liberate?
Yeah, you got smashed.
No, I was smashed.
No,
Have we got a backstory with this?
So
Yeah.
the backstory is,
There is actually. I remember part.
You've just said you can't remember, so shut
I
up.
remember parts of it.
so the,
What, when they weren't punching you in the head?
the
I didn't
backstory.
get punched. Cam did.
The backstory was I was in theatre bar and I had a vodka Red Bull, right? And them two were outside having a fag or something.
No, it was in Manhattan's.
No, it weren't.
We were in Manhattan's.
Oh, sorry, no, theatre bar was my brother. No, I'm getting too-
You're on about when you and Brad walked home, or when you got your burger knocked out your hand.
No, there was a few. No, sorry, I'm mistaken. I was confusing my brother's story with yours. So, right, yeah. Them two went downstairs from Manhattan's and then I followed after I'd finished my drink. But when I walked outside, I seen Cam get punched by like an 18-year-old. And then all his mates started kicking the shit out of Cam. But I came out as they'd started. And then I just said him get speared onto the floor. And then he rolled the guy over and mispunched him and punched the floor.
And then next minute, I had ads. What's he called? Ads. Mike and somebody else from Theatre Bar called like pin me, like pull me back, pin me to the wall, and somebody calm the fuck down because I've got a kid at home.
Fair enough.
So I didn't move too bad, mate, did I? When I had 7 bouncers pinning me to the
Talking, you
wall.
should have been listening.
No, it's just the fact of like you come up to me afterwards like raging because they kicked your fucking burger out your hand.
Do you know how long it takes to get a burger in town? Grizzy, how long did it take?
Don't know. Don't eat burgers.
Kebab.
So,
Pizza.
speaking of all this training and all this lot and discipline and stuff,
Dis-
weren't you in the army?
yes.
So when did you go in? What?
If you don't mind disclosing, that is.
No, I don't mind, mate. 93, 94, I went in. And I came out, just short of 4 years I did.
I was born then, 93. That was
Oh,
93, I was born, mate.
94 for me.
So what did you go in as? Like, what was it like? Tell the story of the army.
I was in infantryman. I went in a regiment, King's Own Royal Border Regiment, which was the recruitment on Alker Street, but they're not now, they're the Queen's Lancashire.
The TA, was that what it was?
Yeah,
called?
yeah. So that's where you like enlisted
Yeah.
and then I did me phase. What you did do, you did 2 lots of training. You did your phase 1 at I went to a place called Pennycook in Scotland. And I did my phase 1 Pennycook in Scotland, my phase 2 in Strensall in Yorkshire, and I'm not gonna lie, it was the hardest thing I've ever done. And honestly, it was. I'm amazed that I passed out. I was dead proud of myself that I passed out. Do you know what I mean? Because it was so difficult. You see these people that just naturally fit, and you get some people that you've got to work hard. I'm one of them people that got to work hard on it. But you see some of these people and they're unbelievable. So and then so I passed out and I think I had a weekend off and then I went to Northern Ireland.
See, now, I've got to ask, devil's advocate, what made you want to go in? What is it about it? Because once again, it's something that's never appealed to me because once again, maybe probably thinking too logical on it, as in I was worst case, and back then anyway. Back then it was even worse than it probably is now.
Stupid, isn't it?
So no, I just no. So what was it? Obviously, there must have been something. Was it?
I think a lot of it was like my stepdad. He was Navy. So, and I had a crack with him, and I thought, do you know what? I didn't have a job here. I didn't have a career here or anything. I thought, what have we got to lose? We've got nothing to lose. So I thought, I'll try. So, and then you go and then you went. So you applied and everything. Then you go for this day assessment overnight, and that was in Linfield or something like that. And then you go from there. So yeah, that's the reason. The reason is there's nothing here. Nothing here whatsoever. And I think that's the majority. That's the people will join. Some people are keen.
Yeah.
Really, really keen doing it. The stuff comes up on my Facebook now. It's called the Veterans Lottery. And some of them stories on there, I am not kidding you. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Just on side note, do you not reckon he sounds dead good on a microphone?
Do I really?
Like a commentator or something? Yeah, I've just been sat there listening, and you've got like a voice for radio.
Oh, cheers, mate.
The face for radio too, but mainly the voice. But yeah, no, it's interesting to me that because I'm working with a guy currently that served for like 16 years under the Queen, and obviously I didn't understand. A lot of the lads sort of, which I told them to be careful, were sort of taking a piss when the Queen died because for him it's a big deal because he served her, like served under her. So and he's very, he's regimented. He's still sort of regimented now. He's sort of
That's what happens.
I don't want to say stuck, like, because I don't understand it and I don't want to disrespect it, but he seems sort of still stuck in that mindset where it's the same thing.
You do with a lot of stuff, don't you?
Routine, mate. It's unbelievable. Like even at home now, I've got my wash bag and everything. Like I've got a wash bag,
Yeah.
and I don't leave my toothbrush in the bathroom. I take it in the wash, put it in my wash bag, and mental. It's crazy stuff. Like
You get it all hardwired in there, though, don't you?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that's that bad, but I mean, he's still like
just little things like,
wants to sleep on the floor and that. And,
oh no, I won't go that far.
like he's almost like he's never had a bed in the way he acts, but he's even like hair's always the same. He's dressed the same. He's like stand up straight. He walks straight. He's still like it's like he's still in it, and it's weird. It's fascinating to me because I like watching like sort of figuring out how people are different. But I'm sat there and I'm thinking that can't be healthy still. Like, and there must be something there that's obviously that we don't understand, but there must be something there.
Don't forget, he's in that. He's been in that 16 years.
Yeah, but also he's probably seen some stuff that obviously some of us would you want
Without
to see in
doubt.
movies. But
I doubt.
then it's also at what point do you need to not be careful? I don't want to phrase it like that, but at what point is it like
Unhealthy.
yeah, like where it's hard to describe the line, but what you just said then to me that's not really anything out of the ordinary. I wouldn't look at if we went away or something and you took your toothbrush into your bag. Like, I wouldn't look at that and go, "That's a bit weird." Like I wouldn't think that.
No.
It's not as if you're sleeping like a bloody pencil on the floor
But I'm at
still. Do you know what I
home.
mean?
You know, it's our house, and I should just put it in the
Not when you're sharing a bathroom machine.
in the tub where it's mental, mate.
I don't think that's bad. I don't think that's bad. Do you?
And I've got to shower. I've got to be clean.
I don't think there's out wrong with that either.
That's normal, that.
I think it's worse if it's the other way around.
I know.
What do you think any of that's weird? None of that sounds out the ordinary to me.
No, it doesn't. It probably doesn't. But because it's sort of like, I'm thinking, is this normal?
Oh yeah, because maybe you'll look around and nobody else is doing what you're doing.
Sort of,
Says in.
you know, it's
So
like
he's saying that you don't shower.
no,
What he's saying is
it's more of a routine. You know
Yeah.
what I mean, it's more of a like people say like my mate at work says, oh, I get up, I jump in the shower. So what? You have a shower in the morning? Yeah, but if I did that, I can't. But I finish work and then I have a shower after work.
yeah.
But others have showers in the morning, stuff like that.
I have a cold shower in the morning, and then I have a.
Oh man,
I don't have warm showers anymore. I've not had a warm shower in like 2 years.
really?
Promise you. Freezing cold every single time. Absolutely ice cold.
You mad?
No, I promise you. Ever
The
since
benefits of it's
ever since I
amazing.
started doing it, I didn't believe it, right? And it takes you like a few weeks to get into it. But I started reading up as you do. You go down the wormhole sometimes, some nights. You start watching comedians' best of most offensive jokes. Next thing you know, you're on health benefits from whatever. And then I started looking, and I was like, for a period of time, I was like really lethargic, and I didn't understand why. And I thought, is it a weight? And I thought, no, because I dropped a bit of weight, and I was still feeling the same. I was getting ill quite a lot, and then I thought, I'll just try it. I tried with a cold bath at first, like freezing cold. I couldn't do it because it was
I
almost.
get the ice baths. I
And then-
understand that.
and
bit.
then
I've done ice baths and stuff like that.
And then but then for me in the shower,
Oh,
my missus hates it. First thing, if I get a shower in the morning, which I've actually stopped doing, I'm same as you. I don't because I'd sooner take an extra 5 minutes in bed because at the moment I don't really sleep that much. But when he starts sleeping, I can guarantee you, first thing in the morning, like I used to do, 4 o'clock in the morning when I was at work at Orsted, I'd be in work for 5. 4 o'clock, I'd be in that freezing cold shower straight away within 10 minutes.
I do it because it wakes you up.
Oh no, it's awful. It's
aw-
awful
It's
when
awful, but it wakes you up and it gets you ready for the day. I think.
it does, but it's also I don't know. Maybe that's like a weird thing of that. But mine was like I was in like a routine right for Orsted. Same thing
Yeah.
every night. Same thing now. We go to bed before 9 o'clock every single night. I'm up. I try and get up as early as possible. I have like 3 hours before work usually, where I do some things that maybe I want to do, whether that's research or whatever, and then I'll go to work. But
It's like with me. Like you think it's weird with me. I don't go to bed till like 1:30 in the morning, but I'm up at 5:30.
oh no.
yeah, no, that's mad. That is
It's just
insanity.
unhealthy.
That's fucking insanity. That.
But I used to suffer really bad insomnia. So
But you've done it that long
didn't-
now, your body's used to it.
Some do that. Some are like that.
it was like I could
Can't do
I
it.
could
No,
literally
you can't.
go and do a full day's work of 2 hours sleep and be perfectly
Well,
fine.
Elon Musk says he only sleeps like 2 hours a night, doesn't he?
But don't forget though, you'll only be able to do that for a period of time, and you will crash.
Oh yeah, no, I've crashed before, like to the point where I've said to my boss, I'm gonna have to go home. I don't feel well.
Your issues is you're on the Xbox.
No, I'm not, because there's quite a lot of time where I'll go on my Xbox for say till like 9. I'll come off, I'll have a shower, I'll have a shower, I'll chill out, watch like a series, like an episode of what program I'm watching, and I'll go get into bed. And literally,
Because your body's that used to
I'll s-
staying up.
I'll scroll for half an hour on my phone, and then I'll put my phone on the floor on charge. I'll like try and go to sleep, and then I end up rolling back on my back, eyes wide open, because I can't sleep, I can't turn off.
But they say that you shouldn't have your phone 30 minutes before you go to bed. You should have no screen at all.
That's correct.
I think I might have a bit like.
And I've started doing that, and it works. I can honestly say it works. So when so we now go to bed when he goes to bed. So he usually falls asleep about 8:30, 9 o'clock. So that's why I'm saying to use like, when you're like, you're coming on the Xbox, I'm like, no, I'm in bed. And it's like, oh, you freaking, no, I'm in bed. No, no, I'm going to bed. No, like I can't. And now I try and stay off my phone at least half an hour. Sometimes it's more.
See, I watch programs I watch like YouTube stuff, like boxing on YouTube, and I go,
Yeah.
you know,
See, no, I used to do that, but I'd stay. That was what I was saying about the wormhole. I'd stay on it till 2 in the morning. Next thing you know, I'm up in 3 hours. I'm like, you're a fucking idiot. So I just stopped doing it because I know I couldn't trust myself.
yeah.
And I don't go on my phone first thing in the morning either. I give it like 10, 15 minutes.
I go on my phone to turn my alarm off. That's about it.
But yeah, I don't know about you guys, but you need to start coming back on more often, mate.
Yeah, gives a shout.
It's more just for the voice, to be quite honest. I might have to start getting you to read me some books and that. You'd say the voice.
Is Connor and Shane watching this? I bet they're laughing.
Shane
at
is. Shane's watching.
At the end of the day, they can laugh all they want, mate. They're just jealous they don't have what you have. It's a God-given gift. That's what it is.
You've not been invited on the podcast either, so I think that's why we're jealous as well.
Jealous.
Shane's been on.
Shane's been on when we bicked his hair. Well, when I bicked his hair.
Yeah, but he didn't really speak, did he? He just let you
Well-
pick his head, and then that was it.
Well, yeah, he's the face. He doesn't need to speak when you're the worst-looking one there. Conor Mack, on the other hand. Oh, here he is. Conor Mack, I'm here.
Is he on?
Crying face. But yeah, and then Connor, speaking of that, now you're here. Unfortunately, you've missed out. We are actually going to be leaving it there for this week.
Probably watched it
He
all.
watched it all.
Yeah, it's weird that he doesn't usually watch it though. He's only watching it because Grizzy's on, bringing in the eyes, mate. That's what it is.
That's it.
But yeah, like I say, Josh, do you want to take us away, mate?
Yeah, no problem. Good thing you didn't ask Kira, just that crying. So,
We've gone beep, 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 beep.
so obviously we'd like to bring it out. We're saying a big thank you to all our sponsors: Lakeside Fire and Security, Transform Physique, Northwest Plumbing and Heating, and TNT Records. We will be coming back towards with Steve Bell for that open day for the gym. TNT Records are going to be throwing a few offers our way, so we'll be in touch. Like I said, every week in and out. If you want to be on the podcast like Peter today, drop us a message on the thing or just book in. But from all of us at the JBK podcast, we'd like to thank Peter Grisdale for coming on. We'd like to thank Kia for the
I'd like to
property.
thank Daddy for coming on, not just Peter, it's Daddy.
No, big
And
pappy.
the man for sitting in the corner and laughing all the way through it.
Yeah.
Queen beat,
And I'm gonna get my head kicked in when I get outside.
hopefully.
So we've been your hosts, Josh Archer, Ben Coleman, Kia McCarter, our guest, Peter Grisdale, and we will see you all next week.
Cheers, guys.
Peace.